guys, welcome to World of Danks. Tanks. This game, I was playing, and I just could not believe what happened with my... There's two different things that can happen with RNG. You can have something ridiculously good, and then everything else ridiculously bad. And that's exactly what happens in this game. I didn't really realize the derp platoon we really had going on. I was too focused on looking at my little hatch at the back because this is one of my new tanks I've got. I've got the suspension done, so that means I've got the gun rammer, the camo net, everything else I needed. It's just that stock gun on this tank is just... It's so underwhelming at tier 8 that you even get it at tier 6, I believe, this gun. So it's extremely underwhelming. I'm sitting here trying to stuff around, searching for this OI experimental that I'm trying to see because I wanted to see what the hell was going on down in F4 because I was wondering, well, F3 actually. So I get into this position, I see, okay, so... The Lorraine destroyed the experimental. Alright, I'm fine with that. And then I noticed this guy. And he's a bit fucked. Oh, wow. I'm just sitting here saying, I even say in chat, this team, sigh. Because, you know, it just looked like it was one of those games. In fact, I did not even have my XVM enabled for this game. Well, I had it enabled, but it wasn't updated, so I couldn't see our team stats. So that made everything a little bit more difficult for me to, you know, make decisions on. And so, this little prick manages to get away with quite a bit, actually. My RNG decides, let's not go there. Let's go incredibly lower than what it should be. And, well, I say should be, but... Artillery needs to be balanced via its RNG, but like there could be worse RNGs to be honest. But yeah, even splash damage I would have been happy with. This I managed to actually hit his back track. What would you call that little wheel? Fuck knows. But yeah, I managed to hit his little gear, and then he just gets taken down by the rest of the team. Really. This point on, I'm just sitting here wondering whether or not there will be any other little tanks, like wondering if that SP1C will show his face again. And then I just decide, you know what, these two over here, the Chaffee and the Super Pershing, really need our assistance. And so I decide I'm going to aim up over here towards the Panther and the Cromwell. There is going to be one little light tank that I completely forget about in this replay that actually shows up around D0 that actually manages to completely obliterate those two idiots. And so basically I'm sitting here wondering, alright, he's gonna drive forward, and I fucked up, and I really would have liked having shot that dude, but I kind of predicted that he would have ran forwards, but he didn't. Most people tend to do that though. It's weird phenomenon going on in World of Tanks where people drive back and forth, and so you kind of need to predict when they're going to do that in World of Tanks. And then, bam! Full aim, fucks off somewhere else. Alright, so I'm just sitting here like, oh, alright, this can happen, but I'm just... Hopefully it doesn't happen again.
12 seconds later.
Fuck!
All around me are familiar faces, worn out places.
Yeah, that was a very sad moment. I was sitting there like, fuck my life. And it's, to be fair, it is 718 meters, but twice in a row, fully aimed up, and I feel so shit. And this moment, I even fuck up again. I'm just wondering, look, see, he starts doing that back and forth motion. I'm predicting he's gonna go back again, and he doesn't. So I was just, that moment was just as bad. I fucked up twice already. At this point of time, I'm sitting here like, what use will I be sitting here. So I do the one thing that most SPGs never seem to do, is actually relocate from my current position, which is very fucking surprising considering most SPGs never bother with it. But this M44 seems to be doing that. This SU-8 doesn't seem to move yet. He does later on though, so I presume some of these SPGs at least know what they're doing. They're not the best of players, but again, they're probably better than some of the other idiots I've seen. Now, one of the benefits with this tank line is that it actually becomes a really quick tank. It is probably able to keep up with most mediums and even some light tanks. It's actually a very, very quick tank. And remind you, this is the stock engine with 700 horsepower when the second engine gets 850. So that's a significant increase in bloody acceleration and overall top speed, which is really good. Now this I'm just sitting here like, nope, I thought that TVP VTU was going to come around, and I'm just like, I'm going to go around instead because he didn't actually come around this corner. And I'm sitting here, this gives you a much better accurate description of what you're aiming at if you use this mode. I prefer using that rather than right clicking. And this that was demoralizing when I got hit by not only the FV304 but a HE shell from the Super Pershing. Luckily the HE shell did not penetrate my tank, and that M44 seems to just rush out and try and attack that Super Pershing, which was not the greatest of ideas, though my one only really made me survive by pure luck. So this point on, I'm sitting here like, oh great, my RNG hasn't been the best at this game. In this game, and not only that, now I've got a broken goddamn gun. And I'm sitting here thinking, oh my god, is that it? That's the circle I get? That was not a surprise whatsoever for me, even though it's like 400 meters. That doesn't matter. RNG is gonna fuck you as hard as you possibly can, which is probably understandable considering my gun is damaged. I think that makes the dispersion 2 times worse, so it should be about 1.62. Yeah, 1.62 dispersion over 100 meters. So it's quite understandable at this point in time that I'm most likely not going to get a single hit on any of these people. And I'm sitting here, should I aim up on the artillery? Where is the artillery going to be? I thought he perhaps might be in that town because the town had a few buildings broken. And no, he's up here instead. So I fully aim up. This is fully aimed. He actually gets taken down by the T-34, but I was never going to hit anyway. It just fucked off somewhere else. And I am deciding, you know what? Tank mode is probably the only way for me to go at this point in time with this incredible bloom. Look at it. It's most of the screen. Now, at this point in time, I'm sitting here, I'm just driving forwards. I'm not really thinking about what I'm going to do. Until I get to around this hill, I'm sitting here thinking, now, what would be best for me to do? I decide, you know what? It's probably better off if I'm close to the tank that I'm shooting at. And so instead, I decide I'm going to drive around and plant myself somewhere in B2, B1, probably C. And then I'm sitting here thinking, he's most likely made his way around the map searching for the SPG. And the thing is that I was last spotted at B1. So, perhaps the WZ131, W1Z, what the fuck, that's not even a tank. But yeah, basically, I'm sitting here thinking he's probably going to come around here trying to find me. I'm wondering where he is at this point in time, because I'm wondering, has he got here already? Does he know I'm not here? And if so, has he moved into this little ditch here? And no, he hasn't. So I'm sitting here like, should I aim down here? And then I'm just like, no, my gun can't traverse down very well. So instead, I'm just going to plant myself down on this hill so that I can get much better dispersion, well, gun depression. And I'm sitting here waiting like, oh my god, there he is, and I just fucking shoot him. And I'm just sitting there like, wow, just RNG. Now, that's not the only thing that happened to me this week. With my previous tank, I'm sitting here in this situation like, alright, they've gone through the cap. And they are obviously, somebody or something is coming towards this direction. And oh my god, just, what? What was that? It just fucking flew straight towards him. And there were previous shots which I fully aimed up on, and they just went the complete opposite way. So this is when RNG can either go completely one-sided either way, whether it's terrible or if it's just ridiculously good like that. But this all comes down to whether or not WoT Tanks is actually skill-based. RNG is always going to have some sort of randomized, number with it, obviously. That's what RNG stands for. But basically, these RNGs only slightly affect the game. Surely it affects a lot more with artillery, like in these cases. But most, if not over a longer period of games, aiming up actually does increase the overall skill of the player as well as the tank. So effectively, you could say RNG affects a very large amount of the game, which it really does. But over a large period of games, I don't think so. I think that might be it for today, guys. But like and subscribe if you enjoyed watching, and let me know if you enjoy these WoT Tanks videos. I don't really do too many of them, actually. I've been playing artillery a lot. I've been getting quite good at them, as well as I'm actually quite enjoying them. It's also good to know where artillery can go and can shoot at enemies. It's very good to know that information. A lot of people always get very, very mad at you when you play artillery, and it's always hilarious. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you guys next time.